Hi, I'm Steve from How To in 5 and Reviews, and today we're having a look at the electronic cruise control that I've got fitted to my Super Tenere. I've got an electronic cruise control on my F3 Spider, and I've got throttle locks on some of my other bikes. Are they worth having? What's the difference between them? Let's dive in and have a look. So this is the cruise that I've got fitted on my 2010 Super Tenere. The early models didn't have cruise standard, the new ones have. I bought it online from a company called MC Cruise, and it basically rolled up in the box with the fitting instructions. It's plug and play. It's a fairly detailed fit. You have to pull apart a lot of the bike, and we'll have a play with it shortly, and I'll show you how it works. But I originally bought the cruise control for those long distance hauls where you're on the bike for hours and hours at a time. Not long ago, I did a trip that was over 6,000 kilometres. That's 4,500 miles. You're on there for a long time. The fingers get sore, the wrist gets sore, and you just want to exercise that right hand a little bit. You can do it with the clutch, that's simple. But of course, take your hand off the right hand one and it comes down. These big bore bikes, even the 650s now, they are so easy to creep over the limit. You only have to move the throttle about 3 millimeters or an eighth of an inch, and you'll easily pick up 20 kilometers an hour. And in this country, that costs you a lot of money. In fact, I'll show you a chart shortly. But the cruise, look, it's very similar to what you would have in your car. I don't think there's a car that is sold now, as far as new cars, that doesn't have electronic cruise control. You've got your on-off, resume and decelerate, set and accelerate, and it's all electronic. It maintains the speed you put in. Actually, I was on MC Cruise's website. I noticed they have changed their control module now. This is the overhead version like I've got, but it has the symbols on it rather than the letters. I guess that makes it more international. And I see they've got a new style that, it squeezes up against your original switch block. In fact, that could be a good one to use. In fact, that could be a very good one to use because it's very narrow. And I know my dear old dad, who's no longer with us, would be looking up going, you soft, we never had any of that sort of thing in our day. And look, maybe he's right, but times have changed. There's a lot of electronic devices around now designed to get you for speeding. In the old days, you basically got done speeding if a police car came up behind you. Now there's radar guns and there's amphometers and there's everything else. We also, I think, travel longer distances now with the touring bikes and the adventure bikes and that sort of thing. So it really is a welcome addition to have on, I was going to say large capacity bikes, but as I said, I mean, even 600cc machines now, they're super quick. Now, don't get an electronic cruise control confused with a throttle lock. That's this thing here. I've got this on one of my bikes. Actually, I've got it on a couple of my bikes. The throttle lock does just that. It locks the throttle. And it's a good thing on a dead straight piece of road, but of course, safety-wise, there's no safety built into this at all. If you hit the brakes, you pull in the clutch, whatever, the throttle stays locked on. With an electronic cruise control, and we'll show you that shortly, we'll get out on the road. When you touch the brakes, the clutch, anything at all, it will automatically disengage the throttle. These are good. As I say, I've got one, and I've used it for many, many years. In fact, I've got a couple of these, two different types. There's different styles that you can buy. I've got this one here. There's the N-bar lock, and of course, the paddle. But one of the problems with that throttle lock is that when you start going down, you see there's a little bit of a dip in the road here. It will hold the throttle onto wherever it is set, and your speed will increase, and you'll easily pick up 20 kilometers an hour. And I'll show you some of the penalties for that shortly. And of course, not to mention, you've got the police cars. And look, I'm not having a go at the cops here. They have got a job to do. They are under instruction, and there's the whole road safety thing. And I get that. That's an important part of it. But it will cost you so much in the long term. There are so many speed variations, and they're all over the place, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80. Then there's the speed cameras, there's the timed speed zones now, and of course the radar guns. It can get so expensive, and of course loss of license if you get it wrong. And a quick look here at some of the costs involved. This is in Australia. I'm not sure how old this chart is. I just grabbed it off the internet. But less than 10 kilometres an hour. So that's 5, 6, 7 mile an hour, $183. The far right-hand column there are your demerit points, 10 to 20 kilometres an hour, $414 and 3 points. I mean, that's only 15 mile an hour over. And it's so easy. An eighth of an inch will do that on a bike. So here we are, just riding along. I'll show you how it works. I'm holding the throttle on here. Hit the on button, which is up there on the right-hand side. I'll show you in that little picture. So it's on. It's not activated yet. I get up to around that speed that I want. You can see I release the throttle there. Bring it back up to around that 100 mark or 60 mile an hour or 98, wherever I am. Then I hit this set button and it will just hold the bike at that speed. I can now take my right hand off of the throttle and it'll hold it at that set speed while I'm going along. If I want to go up a kilometre an hour or so, I just hit the accelerate button once or twice, depending on how far I want to go up, and it will increase my speed. So it's brought me up from that 98. Give it another hit, it'll take me up just that little bit further. In the event that I then want to bring the speed back, come back around that 100 kilometres an hour, I just hit the decelerate button, which is the one in the middle. If I'm going along like so, and yep, everything's rosy, whatever, for whatever reason, I hit the brakes or I pull in the clutch. So what I'll do here is I'll just pull the clutch lever in. The cruise control disengages. All I have to do is hit the resume button and it will slowly climb me back up to the set speed that I had in. So it doesn't just open the throttle wildly and go roaring back up to that speed. It just gently brings you right back up to the speed that you were hoping for, which is terrific. Front brake, same thing. If you hit the front brake, it will bring that speed back. Hit the resume button, slowly but surely, she'll climb back up again to where you were. It's nice, it's gentle, so you're not burning a heap of juice each time you want to do the release and whatnot. Remembering it's not designed for this. This is roaring through and having an enormous amount of fun as I do in the dirt, but it's not meant for that. It's meant for getting that throttle, sitting along and relaxing, being able to take that right hand off. Oh, you can also wind it on, of course, a bit if you want. If you're looking at that clip there, this is why the clip is on. When I filmed this the first time, the cables were straight across in front of the camera. Didn't even think of that, but so I had to do it a second time. Oh, of course, it also works off the back brake. Touch the back brake and it will release the cruise control as well. So that safety side is built in. But look, that is what the cruise control is all about. If you're interested, as I said, I bought mine from MC Cruise. You can look them up on the internet. They ship worldwide. I know they do them for all sorts of makes and models, including a lot of the Harley Davidson range as well. But look, this is a review. What do I think of this cruise control? Fitting was tricky but straightforward. Instructions were good. It cost about 750 Australian dollars. It would have saved me that 10 times over in speeding fines, not to mention loss of license. It has increased my rider comfort dramatically. And in the couple of years I've had this, it has been faultless, not one problem. So something that I don't do too often in my reviews, I'm going to rate the MC Cruise 5 out of 5. Well, there you go. That's my opinion when it comes to electronic cruise controls fitted on motorbikes. I have, as I mentioned, the cruise control, the electronic cruise control on a couple of my bikes. I have the throttle lock on others. In a speed camera crazy country like Australia, get away from it, fly. It is, I think, a necessity. Leave your thoughts, of course, in the comment section below. I recently looked at adding the Tenere 700 to the family, but unfortunately the current model doesn't have the electronic cruise control. I believe the second model may have. Actually, I didn't check to see if MC Cruise do one for the Tenere 700, which I will do. But anyhow, if you like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. But until next time, cheers. Oh, really? I got the cable straight across the speedo. Duh.